Hello everyone. If you are watching this video, then you already have this feeling that something is wrong with the world. The modern world, or rather the perception of it, is so false that the average modern person finds it hard to believe, especially when the lies are of this magnitude. So let's begin. If I ask you what the Earth is really like, you will tell me that it is round, and an advanced minority may argue, no, it is flat. Flat? Bullshit, it can't be, we've seen the satellite photos. Well, by and large, there is no other evidence that the Earth is round. But corrupt and lying scientists will poke you in various calculations and formulas, proving with foam at the mouth that the Earth is round. And all would be nothing, but there are facts that contradict the theory of a round Earth. Plus, observations of the sun and moon do not support the round Earth theory either. For the most meticulous and inquisitive, if you start digging into the calculations of modern science, for example, how the distance to the moon and the sun or their diameters were calculated, you will eventually come to the fact that all these calculations are based on two incorrect assumptions. The first is that the shadow on the moon is the shadow of the Earth, and the second is that the Earth is round. On the other hand, the flat Earth theory explains almost all observed and measured phenomena. In general, in summary, we have two theories. One that explains nothing, the theory of round Earth, but which lying and corrupt scientists are foaming at the mouth to defend in order to win another grant. And the second is the flat Earth theory, which explains almost all observed phenomena, which is recognized by a small part of thinking people and those scientists who are looking for the truth. In this video, I will not prove anything to you, but only give you some interesting facts, and at the end I will show you how the Earth and the universe looks like. It is quite an interesting and complex structure. And also I will give my opinion who and for what purpose made such a global deception. So, if you are ready, then let's go, and if not, then just close this page and continue to live in your world of illusions and lies imposed by the system and those who enslaved you. So, the first thing we do is go to NASA's website and download some photos of the Earth from there, where it is shown in its entirety, as well as photos where some part of the Earth is taken. You can do all of this yourself. All the resource links will be in the attached comment below the video. Next we go to this site and this one, or you can find other similar sites yourself that check photos for fakes on many parameters. So, first let's upload a photo where the Earth is depicted partially. We see that there are no strong artifacts that would say that the photo is fake, although the second service found that this photo was edited. Here it's important for us to remember what space looks like right here. Now we upload a photo where the Earth is whole, and what do we see? There is no space, but a solid black background, all of which tells us that this is a crude fake. Looking ahead, I will say that you will not find a single original photo where the Earth is shown in its entirety and not edited. Neither on NASA's website, nor Roscosmos, nor any other nation. There are simply no such photos, and all because it is a global-scale fake. But the photo where the Earth is shown partially you can quite find in the original because they use a fisheye lens which allows you to distort the horizon, making it curved, which is what we see in most of the photos walking around the internet. By the way, Hollywood has tried the hardest here. Remember this, all this shows that most states are subject to a single control center and in collusion with each other on a number of issues related to population management. After all, many states have satellites, but none have gone against the system and put real photos of the Earth on display. Because they obey their masters, if I may say so. So, moving on. As for the flat Earth theory, there are many books on the subject and online resources, some of which I left you in the attached comment below the video. Let's look at some interesting facts. First, floating objects moving away beyond the horizon do not disappear behind the bin, but remain visible in the telescope. The video shows how a ship, invisible beyond the horizon, appears fully visible if you apply a telescope or powerful optics. This contradicts the theory of a round Earth, as objects 200 kilometers away can be seen in this way, which would be impossible on a round Earth. Because of the curvature, the object would have to be below the horizon line by about 3 kilometers. Second, the horizon lines are parallel, which is impossible on a sphere. The horizon always looks perfectly straight and parallel, regardless of the point of observation, which contradicts the spherical shape of the Earth. All modern geodesy is built on a flat Earth and never takes into account the curvature of the Earth. In Brazil, a group of researchers from the Tequila Pesquisas organization conducted a series of experiments to study the shape of the Earth. One such experiment involved measuring distances between tall buildings located a considerable distance apart, approximately 3,000 kilometers, in order to determine the presence or absence of geodesic curvature. The researchers measured the distances between the bases and top points of tall buildings located far apart. According to the spherical Earth theory, as the distance between buildings increases, the distance between their top points should be greater than the distance between their bases because of the curvature of the surface. According to Daquila Pesquisas, the measurements showed that the distances between the bases and the top points of the buildings were the same. This observation showed the absence of the expected curvature of the Earth's surface, which contradicts the theory of a round Earth. Third, the light of lighthouses is visible at greater distances than a spherical Earth would suggest. A copy of the book Lighthouses of the World and a calculator are enough to prove that the Earth is not a ball, but a large flat plane. The distance at sea from which the light of various lighthouses around the world can be seen far exceeds what would be seen on a globe. For example, the Dunkirk Lighthouse in southern France, which is 63 meters high, can be seen from a distance of 48 kilometers away. Spherical trigonometry says that if the Earth were a sphere with a given curvature of about 7.85 of a centimeter per square kilometer, this light would have to be hidden at a distance including atmospheric refraction of about 30 kilometers. This is a little more than the distance excluding refraction of 28 kilometers. But the light remains visible at a distance of 48 kilometers, and this completely contradicts the theory of a round Earth. And lastly, one more interesting fact. Why do airplanes fly in a different direction than they do in a straight line? If you go to the Flight Radar 24 website, you will see all the airplanes that are currently flying over the Earth, and you can see their flight path. So, if you carefully study the flights of planes, you can see that some intercontinental flights are not in a straight line but some zigzags with refueling. For example, here is a flight that should be a simple 11-hour flight across the Indian Ocean from Johannesburg in South Africa to Perth, Australia. However, the trajectory of this flight is north with refueling in Dubai, Hong Kong, or Malaysia, and averages over 18 hours in duration. This all seems crazy and absurd, given that all airlines are trying to save on fuel with baggage weight restrictions. But everything becomes clear when you consider this route on a map of a flat Earth. Now this route makes common sense. You can find similar routes yourself and check how they would look on a flat Earth map. Now let's get to the most important part. What does our Earth and the universe really look like? Our Earth is much bigger than we realize and know. It looks like a flat disk with our continents in the middle of it. Here is the GLISSON map, which was used to make the Earth round, or rather to stretch this map on a globe and say that we live here. But that's not all. If you look closely at the GLISSON map, you will notice that there is no Antarctica, but there is some ice ring or a sold wall. So, beyond this ring there are also oceans and continents where people live. Roughly the whole thing looks like this, where in the center are our continents, and around it are many other continents and seas. And they each have their own sun. That's why they invented the round Earth, to hide from people that they are not alone here. Or they will go to look for other lands, and it will turn out that people there live better than us without any tsars, presidents, and religions. And their technology is cooler than ours, and some of them live several times longer than humans. And then how to manage such a smart herd. And so they made sheep out of people with the help of schools and institutes, plus inculcated that the most valuable thing is money, so they graze quietly and do not bring trouble to their masters. So, I've gotten a little off topic. So, the Earth looks like a huge flat disk, most of which we cannot see. Then what does the universe look like? Well, the universe looks like a huge egg. And there are many universes. Inside this egg there are lands in the form of flat disks on top of each other. And the 7 upper lands belong to the divine. We, by the way, are on the 7th, about in the middle of the egg. The next lower 7 Earths are of the demonic type, and even lower down there are 28 worlds of the infernal type. So celestials and those who don't believe in karma, I think you'll find a warm place there, in quotes. Okay, we'll probably talk about that in the next few videos. Now let's talk about why they did it. As I have already mentioned, there is a single control center to which all states are subordinate. I will probably make a separate video about it in more detail. This is a conspiracy against humanity at the interstate and state level. They have done this in order to, first of all, so that people would think they are alone here and not look for other lands and passages through Antarctica. Since when there was an invasion of this territory, people were helped to fight the invaders by other races of people who came from other continents. Secondly, so that people do not get other technologies from those people who live outside the ring, because then they can start to resist the invaders. Third, that people did not learn the real history of their humanity. Believe me, it is so scary. After all, it is the most guarded secret in the world. On its protection, all states spend billions to tell their sheep their non-fictionalized, in quotes, history. Fourth, stretch a flat earth on a globe and it's easy to invent and make up laws like gravity and a number of others. Hello, Einstein, because of whom the theory of ether was abandoned, for which, in fact, he was awarded the Nobel Prize because he helped to lead the sheep away from the truth. Stalled science so they couldn't come up with anything worthwhile to weaken the power of the invaders. Think about it, a whole bunch of patented and working non-fuel generators have been made, from Nikola Tesla to Andrei Slobodyan, and what many people have a perpetual motion machine at home that gives free electricity. Fifth, and finally, the Holy of Holies, suddenly people will be drawn to the Creator, and not to those invented religions. I will make a video about it separately. Here I showed you how the Earth and the universe really look like. Whether to accept it or not is up to everyone. Who seeks the truth, he will always find it. All links and the list of books in the description. That's all for now. Subscribe to the channel to not miss new videos.